You're sitting on the cold tile floor of your apartment kitchen at 4:03 a.m. The only light comes from the open fridge behind you, throwing a pale yellow stripe across the linoleum. Your work shirt is still on. It smells like the industrial pink soap they keep by the mop sink and the faint sourness of old bus station air that never really washes out. The duffel bag is open between your knees. Black nylon, stained near the zipper with something that looks like dried coffee but isn't. You've already counted it twice. $380,000. Vacuum sealed in neat bundles, the kind you'd need a heat sealer for. Not loose bills, not a panic grab. This was packed with care. Your fingers are dry and cracked from cleaning chemicals, and they leave faint white smudges on the plastic wrap. You stop touching it. At the bottom of the bag, under the last bundle, you found two things. A cheap burner phone, the kind you buy at a gas station, for $15, and a Polaroid photograph. The photo shows a man, maybe mid-40s, sitting in a metal folding chair. His hands are tied to the armrests with zip ties. But it's the face that makes your stomach drop. Someone took a key or a screwdriver and scratched his eyes out of the glossy paper. Just two raw white gouges where eyes should be. You haven't called the police. You already know you're not going to. The fridge compressor kicks off behind you. In the silence, you hear your own breathing. Shallow. Quick. Like a dog dreaming about running. 6 hours earlier, your life was just regular level miserable. You clock in at 11 p.m. every night at the Pinebrook Regional Bus Terminal. It's a concrete box off the interstate, 40 minutes from anywhere that matters. The ceiling tiles sag in Section C. The vending machine by Gate 3 eats quarters and nobody fixes it. You mop the floors, empty the trash, scrub the piss off the men's room walls, and try not to think about the fact that you're 41 years old doing a job teenagers quit after 2 shifts. Your ex-wife, Cheryl, sent you a text at 10:47 p.m. just 3 words, child support. Friday, you have $94 in your checking account. Your mother's assisted living facility called yesterday about an overdue payment. They were polite about it. They always are. That almost makes it worse. So when you found the duffel wedged behind locker 27 in the long-term storage hallway, a row nobody uses because the lockers have been broken since before you started. You didn't think jackpot. You thought headache. Probably some homeless guy's stuff. Probably full of wet clothes and regret. You pulled it out. It was heavy. You unzipped it halfway, right there under the flickering fluorescent lights, and saw the plastic-wrapped bundles. Your brain didn't process money. It processed problem. A drug drop gone wrong. A dead drop that wasn't picked up. Something that could get you killed if the wrong person saw you touching it. You should have zipped it back up and walked away. You should have called your supervisor, some bored night manager who would have called the cops and filed a report that nobody would ever read. But you didn't. You carried the bag to the janitor's closet, stuffed it behind the industrial-sized jugs of floor wax, finished your shift, punched out at 7 a.m., and then, when the parking lot was empty and the morning sun was just starting to cook the asphalt, you walked out the back door with $380,000 in a duffel bag and a Polaroid of a mutilated man. The justification came easy. It always does. You've been stepped on your whole adult life. Credit card companies, loan officers, bosses who don't remember your name. You paid your taxes, you worked overtime, you showed up, and what did it get you? A studio apartment with a water stain on the ceiling shaped like Florida. A car that makes a grinding noise every time you turn left. A daughter who looks at you like you're a stranger because you can only afford to see her twice a month and you're always too tired to be fun. The world owes you. That's what you told yourself at 7:42 a.m., clutching the steering wheel with both hands, the duffel bag riding shotgun like a passenger who hadn't introduced himself yet. That's the thing about the first step. It feels like justice. The phone rang at 4:18 a.m. the next night. You were still awake. You hadn't slept. The bag was under your bed, shoved behind old sneakers and a box of tax returns you never filed. The burner phone buzzed once. A single flat vibration against the carpet. You didn't pick up. It rang again 30 seconds later. On the third call, you answered. You didn't say anything. Neither did the voice at first. Then, calm and slow, like a man ordering a coffee, you found my bag. Your throat closed up. You managed something like, I don't know what you're talking about. The voice ignored it. Here's what's going to happen. You're not in trouble. The money is not what I care about. What I care about is reliability. And you, my friend, are exactly the kind of person I've been looking for. The line went dead. That's when you should have run. That's when you should have dumped the bag in a river, burned the phone, and disappeared for a week. But you didn't, because the voice said you weren't in trouble, and you wanted so badly to believe that. The next day, you went to work like nothing happened. That's where Marcus found you. Marcus is the day shift guy, 56 years old, works 2 jobs, has a bad knee, and a daughter in nursing school. He's the only person at Pinebrook who ever asked how you were doing and actually waited for the answer. He's got a face like a tired bulldog and eyes that don't miss much. He found you in the supply closet, staring at a shelf of toilet paper like it held the secrets of the universe. You look like death, he said. Didn't sleep. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Something happened. You almost told him. The words were right there, stacked behind your teeth. I found money. I took it. A man called me. But instead, you just shook your head. Nothing, just bills. Marcus nodded slowly. He didn't believe you, but he also didn't push. That's the thing about good people. They give you room to make the right choice on your own. And you didn't. The phone rang again 2 nights later. This time, the voice had instructions. Go to the locker where you found the bag. You'll find a small package inside. You're going to take it to the bus station in Milford, 40 miles west. Locker 19, you leave it there, and you walk away. Do this, and the money is yours. No strings. You fail to do this, and the next Polaroid will have your daughter's face on it. Your blood went cold. You did it. Of course you did. The package was a shoebox wrapped in brown paper. It was heavy. You didn't open it. You drove through the dark, radio off, hand sweating on the wheel, and you left it in locker 19 at a dingy bus station that smelled like diesel and desperation. Then you drove home and threw up in the kitchen sink. The instructions kept coming. There's a storage unit off Route 9. Unit 112. It needs to be cleaned. You'll find everything you need inside. You found a mop, a bucket, industrial bleach, and a dark stain on the concrete floor that required 3 hours of scrubbing. You found a fingernail near the corner. You flushed it down the drain and didn't think about whose it was. You're doing great. The voice started to sound like an old friend. That scared you more than anything, Marcus noticed. He pulled you aside one afternoon as you were leaving. I don't know what you're into, he said quietly, and I don't want to know, but whatever it is, you need to stop. Things like this, they don't let go. You looked him in the eye and lied. I'm fine, Marcus, seriously. He didn't say anything else, just handed you a dented thermos of coffee and walked away. You stood in the parking lot holding that warm thermos and felt like the biggest piece of garbage on planet Earth. 3 weeks in, the voice called with something new. We have a problem. Someone at the station has been asking questions. Day shift. Older guy. Bad knee. Your heart stopped. You know him, the voice said. It wasn't a question. Leave him alone, you said. He doesn't know anything. He knows you've been acting strange. He knows your schedule changed. He knows enough to be inconvenient. I'll talk to him, you said. I'll shut it down. Just don't. You're going to do more than talk to him. Tomorrow night, there's a bottle of liquid sedative waiting for you in locker 27. You're going to put it in his thermos. He'll fall asleep at the wheel on his way home. A tragedy. A tired old man working too many shifts. No one will ask questions. You couldn't breathe. This is not a request. The line went dead. You didn't sleep. You sat on the floor of your apartment with the bag of money at your feet and you cried for the first time in 15 years. Ugly, heaving sobs that left your ribs sore and your eyes swollen. The next morning, you called Marcus. You told him everything, every detail. The duffel bag, the Polaroid, the storage unit, the fingernail. He listened in complete silence. When you finished, he said, "We go to the police. Right now. I'll go with you. You wanted to. God, you wanted to." But then your phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. A photo. Your daughter. Taken through the window of her middle school classroom. She was laughing at something the teacher said, completely unaware. Under the photo, one word, choose. You looked at Marcus, at his tired, honest face, at the thermos you'd accepted from him 100 times, and you made the worst decision a human being can make. "I can't," you whispered. "I can't go to the police." "Then what are you going to do?" You didn't answer, because the answer was already forming in the back of your mind, black and oily and impossible to scrub clean. Marcus didn't die. Instead, you met him behind the station that night. You told him to run, to take his daughter and leave town and never come back. You told him you'd take care of it. He looked at you for a long time. The look wasn't anger. It wasn't even disappointment. It was grief. Like he was mourning someone who was still standing right in front of him. "You're already gone," he said quietly. "Ain't you?" You didn't argue. He left that night. Packed a few bags, cashed out his savings, and disappeared into the dark with his daughter. You never saw him again. You hope he's somewhere safe. You tell yourself he is. You called the voice and told him it was done. You lied and said Marcus was gone, taken care of. The voice seemed satisfied. Or maybe he just didn't care. Maybe the point was never Marcus at all. Maybe the point was to see what you were willing to do. 2 months have passed. The duffel bag is lighter now. You spent some of the money, not on anything nice, just survival. Rent, debt, your mother's care. Every time you pull out a bundle of bills, you see the Polaroid in your mind. The man with no eyes. You wonder if you'll end up in a photo just like that someday. You wonder if you already have. You still work at Pinebrook. Same shift, same mop, same pink soap. But now there's a new janitor on the night crew, a young guy, early 20s, nervous. You caught him staring at a loose ceiling tile last week, like he was looking for something. You've seen that look before. The phone will probably ring for him soon. Or maybe it'll ring for you again, with a new set of instructions. It doesn't matter either way, you're not the hero of this story. You were never going to be. You're a pair of hands that can hold a mop or scrub a stain or do whatever the voice tells you to do next. The money was never lost. It was never waiting for anyone but you. Someone invisible, someone replaceable, someone who had just enough to lose. You go home to your apartment. You sit on the cold tile floor. The fridge hums behind you. The bag is under your bed, right where you left it. You wait for the phone to ring. And the worst part, the part that sits in your chest like a stone, is that when it does, you already know you're going to pick up.